Hey, good morning. We're starting the day off today. It's the next day in the morning loop. I'm not going to say what day it is, and I'm just going to date the show. It might be Monday, it might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday, it just might be someday. No, baby. Today we're starting by tearing the lid off the enhanced games. Genetically juiced sport? Or the dawn of the real-life Avengers coming up in the morning loop. We're going to quickly pivot to the testosterone revolution, 4 sunrise habits that can actually double your T after 35. Marty, looking at you, brother. That heat launches us straight into the accountability check and the live scorecard for wins, slips, and savage honesty. No one hides behind the bleachers. Scorecard's clear. We're going to get the spotlight landing on center stage. Former 305-pound lineman turned All-American beast, Robby D'Angelo, reveals how he cracked the code to becoming undeniable. Mental rewiring, metabolic overhauls, and a shovel full of grit. No, I didn't say, I said grit. With motivation bumpy, dumpy to deep dive, baby, the 5 a.m. advantage, a science-backed blueprint to hack your mornings for peak performance. Before most people get their ass out of bed in the morning, because fuel matters, Protein Break's going to debunk the anabolic window myth. Turn out to Jimmy. I'm just having a hard time spitting my words out this morning. Who's that, Jimmy? Producer Jimmy. Yeah, turns out timing shakes might matter less than your form on the deadlift. And heads up, hour 2. We're going to keep the throttle wide open. We'll get some topics on Parkinson's Law. We're going to get into Community Corner. And of course, we're going to have Nicole Bernard jumping in with business and branding. Good morning, Bernard. I see you there in the comments. Good to have B-Drive in first thing in the morning. Hey, guys, just a reminder. Like, subscribe, comment on the channel. It's the price of admission for this 3-ring circus with myself. Over there, Jon Andersen. Over there, C. Marty Fit. And guys, just a reminder, this is an R-rated experience. Yes, I happen to drop some F-bombs every now and then, and so does Marty and John. But guys, let's get after it. Don't hit the snooze button. You're going to hit it. You're going to be behind everybody else. So we're going to get the show on the road right now. Jimmy, let's bring up the boys in the room. John, Marty, and the gang on mornings in the lab with Keith and friends. What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on, boys?
What's going down, brother? What's happening?
What's going on, brother? What's up, baby?
How are you guys today? You guys good?
I'm good,
yeah,
man.
excuse me.
Yeah? What do you know today?
Can't complain, man.
Tell me something new today, both of you. Johnny, you first. Tell me something new.
Something new.
Yeah. Putting you on the spot.
What's that?
Putting you on the spot first thing this morning. Give me something new.
Something new today. I would say that something new is that I actually registered that I'm happier getting on the rebounder a few minutes later in the morning.
Do tell. Like what? Like at 3:03 instead of 3:01, or what time?
Right, exactly.
Well, it's because I was putting too much stress on trying to get there quickly.
Oh,
and I realized that the whole idea of the morning is not to create stress. It's to basically build walls so stress can't get in.
yes. Oh, very smart. I like how you put that. I like that, Marty. I use the morning to build walls so I can't let stress get in. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, because
don't say I can't.
No.
I'm playing, brother. I'm playing.
But I like that. That's a good philosophy, actually. It's a smart philosophy.
Yeah, it's like in my mind, I envision like this, kind of like this bubble.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And if I build that bubble well, a lot of shit will just bounce off that bubble.
Yes.
Doesn't actually penetrate my bubble.
No bubble penetrating.
Don't penetrate my bubble.
Don't penetrate your bubble. We'll stay with bubble, not the other B word. Marty, what do you know today to tell? Marty, tell me something new this morning, right now.
All right, so this can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
I'm eagerly leaning in, brother.
All right, so this isn't new. You guys know energy is contagious, right?
Yes.
Now I get to the gym early to block my negativity, right?
Yes.
Right, Johnny? That's what it is. Blocking your negativity.
Yeah.
So now my clients, they notice I got there early. So now they starting to get there earlier and they messing up my block energy time. So now I got to get there earlier so they can get out my face.
You got to get there earlier now, man, because they're getting there earlier now.
Yeah, man.
They want your energy though, Marty.
I think so, man. It's tough. It's tough. But they've been showing up earlier. It's actually great because it's a reflection of them. It's a reflection of me too.
Oh yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I need a little quiet time before I start yelling at people, Keith.
What's funny, Marty, because when I met AJ, I saw AJ at first when I met him, he's like, because the gym when I started training, AJ opened at 6, and for the longest time, Marty, don't tell AJ this. I was always there before him. And I'd be like fucking waiting. And I'm like, dude, why the fuck aren't you? Like, it doesn't take any talent to be on time, man. So I think over time, he's like, fuck, man, Billis is always here before me. I'm standing at the door waiting for him to show up. So
finally he got it together.
I think I may have been the reason the gym moved its opening time up a little bit, because I was like, let's go, chop. We got to get up and get going here, man. I got some goals.
Now look, Keith, we gotta hear AJ's side of the story, Keith. I gotta hear AJ's side of the story. I feel like you're hyping it up a little bit, man.
We're gonna bring AJ in tomorrow. We're gonna ask him about that for sure. Hey, B Drive, guitar teacher lost his mind and shut off the comments. Oh, I'd like to hear that, B Drive. That sounds pretty funny. So I guess he's gonna be here on time now. Yes, Bernard. Bernard, I'm expecting you to be standing outside the doors before the doors open. Of course, we got Kindness Rising. We got Matty Roof coming in with a big announcement this Friday. Marty needs a little downtime before he starts penetrating bubbles.
Well, I actually got something new beyond that. I was just kind of starting off with that little discovery today. What's that?
Marty, I think we cut him off because he lost his connection.
Goddamn it! My VPN is causing me all sorts of fucking problems.
Oh, I thought you had to regroup for your answer. I thought you're like, fuck, you left. You went like, I got to get a better answer for Keith and Marty. You left the show. You got all re-energized, and you're back now to tell us.
Shit, man, I'm always re-energized.
I know you are.
No, but check this out. This is. I was victim to this for a long time because I just didn't understand.
Victim.
See, we all have this. Well, because we're programmed, right? Yeah. We're smoking cigarettes, nicotine. It's all bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, nicotine as a standalone, I guess you'd call it a nootropic. Is actually, if they're fun and is fucking actually really good, like it's fighting Alzheimer's, all sorts of shit.
Oh yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah.
The problem is the delivery systems are all fucked up.
Oh yes.
So at this point, it's very difficult to find nicotine that's in a delivery system that's not. It's like, okay, I'm gonna break my pinky to take care of my my thumb. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That kind of shit. So anyway, they're finally having some nicotine pouches like you would do for tobacco.
Oh yeah.
And but no fault in the delivery system. So I'm actually kind of stoked. So I've been kind of experimenting with the gum, because I'm surely not going to fucking smoke a cigarette to see what just to kind of understand the nicotine.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm not going to stay with the gum because most of the gums, I can't remember the name of it. It's something that penetrates the brain barrier and blah, 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 something we don't want in us. But here's the thing. So I actually been kind of working on this with some friends of mine.
Yeah.
And actually, you know them. I talked to them yesterday. They were on the show. Tyler and Carissa.
Oh yeah,
right? They were explaining because we always work on stuff together. They're cool.
Yeah,
as hell.
that's the couple awesome people.
Yeah.
And
they were explaining how they actually started using the gum and like had really kind of found out the way to use it, and because you do too much, it makes you sick.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so anyway, so yesterday I took a piece of gum and I ate the piece of gum, but then I realized, I was like, God, it didn't do much. And then I realized this is nicotine, and this enters my system every day.
Yeah.
So my tolerance for nicotine is much higher than someone who doesn't involve themselves in any sort of tobacco. So anyway, that's new. So I'm on the way of finding the proper amounts of nicotine, because 4 PM.
Yeah.
I got a podcast today at 4 PM. I drink a cup of coffee at 4 o'clock. I ain't going to sleep. I use some nicotine. I sharpen up, and I'll fall asleep just fine.
I'm the type to do a cup of coffee at 4. I'll definitely do that.
Oh, interesting. I don't crush. Not that I don't want to. I don't think about having coffee later in the day. I have a couple pops throughout the afternoon. Like I'll have a zero with some caffeine in it. But I drink my 3 cups in the morning. That's pretty much it for me.
That's a good point, brother, because it's not really coffee. I was saying coffee in place of caffeine.
Yeah.
But caffeine at 4 o'clock, I'm not going to sleep.
One thing I really appreciate you, Anderson, this is a good segue, man. I love how, and Marty, I think you've noticed this too. I love how you're such a willing participant to trying things. I love that, man. You're like, okay, I'm going to just eat salad for a number of hours and see how it acts on my body. I'm going to do this. And I really admire that about you. It takes a great discipline, and I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. It's one thing I think it's a great attribute. It's just,
I say this.
Yeah, go ahead, Marty, please.
That's how Johnny learns. Johnny doesn't learn from
built on
books.
that, brother.
He learns from experience and the actual thing.
Mark, you fucking know me well, brother, because that's it. I mean, I can get a lot of information, from whether it's somebody telling me, watching the video, or even if I'm fucking struggling to get it out of a book.
Yeah.
But everything that I teach, I've developed on myself.
I love it. Well, let's go here then, because this is coming up in Vegas in a few moments. Before we do the accountability check-in, we're supposed to have Robby D'Angelo showing up here this morning. I don't see him in the green room yet, so maybe he didn't get the IKEA instructions, Jimmy. But guys, what if I told you that a new sporting competition is about to challenge everything we think we know about human potential, fair play, and the future of male performance? Jimmy, let's roll it.
Every morning starts with a choice. The man in the mirror can accept decline or demand more. In the gym, we push beyond limits, but what if science could push us further? Dr. Aaron D'Souza's Enhanced Games embrace medical innovation, testosterone optimization, performance enhancement under expert supervision. The research is clear. We can safely rewrite human potential. Leaders share this knowledge, building communities of optimized men. The Enhanced Games aren't just changing sports.
Let's go on record and say it's about time. I want to talk for a few minutes about the Enhanced Games coming up in Vegas, revolutionary sporting event where athletes can use any performance enhancement they want, including testosterone optimization. It's more than just a sporting event. It's a philosophical statement about human optimization, medical freedom, and the future of performance enhancement. And here's how it works, guys. The Enhanced Games, as reported by, it represents a radical departure from traditional sports philosophy.
You got my attention so big right now.
I love it. I think it's actually about time.
I can't wait for what you're going to say next, man.
No, I think it's about time. So athletes are encouraged to use any safe, medically supervised enhancement they choose, including testosterone therapy, growth hormone, other optimization protocols.
And they doing that already.
Precisely, Marty, right? So society is doing it already. So why don't we just put it out there? So this guy started a competition in Vegas. It's called the Enhanced Games. And he's essentially, it's from Aaron D'Souza, the founder. He argues that the current system, and I agree with him here, the current system is hypocritical and harmful. That to me was the main point with this. And I love that because he's like, wait a minute. Athletes are already using enhancers.
Did I miss it? Did I miss what's the sport? Did I miss what they're competing in?
All these different things, Johnny. So it's it is going to be. So it's I'm trying to find here actually.
Is it like a long list of shit, like some sort of a sports
must be a lot of shit.
It's like a sports festival, like an Arnold Sports Festival, but it's like the enhanced version.
Yes. So push-ups.
It's already enhanced. It's just now they're saying, please do it.
But that's why I want to throw it on the table, Jordan. It's about time. I think it's actually about time. It's about time that somebody's like, hey, wait a minute. We live in a world of science, which many of us embrace. We live in a world of metabolically altered foods and everything. Why don't we just, do
let me just let everybody in a little hint right now.
Yeah.
These type of settings, it's behind the curtains. This is already happening. It's already promoted. It's just not being promoted to the public.
But that's what I mean, Johnny, and that's been the controversy around this, and somebody had to step to the place first to do this, right? So D'Souza's like, hey, I'm going to do this, and we're going to do it through supervision. We're going to offer people, all the facts, and here's how it's going to work. And I don't disagree with it. I really don't. I think it's actually about time. I think it's fantastic. There's already been some controversy. Some guy was optimized to swim faster than a guy who wasn't optimized, and the guy who was optimized didn't perform as well as the guy who wasn't because he got too big. So there's already controversy coming.
Oh wow, that's great.
I mean, there's in a lot of these scenarios, you might see a setting such as this, right? An athlete has a blood test because there's all sorts of testing.
Yes,
there's a very difference between. See, here's the phrase that people understand. This is a drug-tested federation.
Yes,
or This is a drug-free federation. See, the public doesn't understand the difference.
But here's the thing.
Here's a little further. So the tested federation, you might have an athlete sitting there with a doctor looking at a test going, are you aware of A, B, and C?
Yes.
Athlete. Yes. Doctor. Okay.
Yes.
Done.
But for me, Johnny, why I'm a fan of this is that.
Oh, I'm a fan too, brother. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm just helping everybody understand.
We're finally moving the hypocrisy from it, because I can drive down to my supplement store and buy a supplement, and somebody would call that an enhanced because I took some creatine. So why not put it on the table? Why not encourage folks to do it safely? Like, I think frankly, it's actually about time. And
it's so true, brother. And on that level, creatine, if we go back far enough in time, creatine was demonized.
Exactly. I remember growing up with.
I ain't old enough for that. I ain't old enough for that.
Yeah, it was dangerous. It was going to kill you. It was a chemical.
Yes, I remember that back, Johnny. Go to his 80s, 90s there when creatine was first being discovered, and I remember going to the gym and guys were like, "Oh, you're taking creatine?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, he's on creatine. Yeah, he's on creatine. That was it. They've always had something. He's on creatine. The fat fuckers always need something. He's on creatine.
Yes. I remember that, man. I absolutely remember that. So anyways, I put this on the table. I thought it's a fascinating topic. It's about time.
Really cool.
It's already got some controversy. The fact it's in Vegas, I think it's great. And I hope this precipitates more sports like this. More importantly, guys, I hope it precipitates more conversations around this, because conversations are helpful for all of us. But hey, guys,
I just want to add real quick. I ain't get to add nothing there.
Yeah.
Guys are enhanced at Gold's Gym. I see stuff falling out of guys' pockets all the time. The shit's hilarious. They try to cover it up. But anyway, and then I wanted to say, you look at like LeBron James, there's a lot of skepticism around him being enhanced, but it's very likely if you think about it. So I wonder if this is going to go to actual professional sports, if it's going to be normalized. So,
well, real quick, let's just back up. I love the word enhanced.
Yeah.
Anybody who drinks a fucking cup of coffee is considered enhanced.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. And I'm going to use the words "I don't care" and not in a belligerent way. I'm going to use the words "I don't care" as in, Marty, you're a human. Johnny, you're a human. I can make my choices, and I'm proud of the choices that I make, and I'm okay with the choices I make, and I'm going to be full of the grace of the choices I make. So let's not.
I just want people to be honest about it. I think that's where the issue is when people start lying. You got a trainer that's in their 50s or something, and they're not being honest about them being on TRT. And they telling somebody they could look like that, and that's in their 50s. That's not on TRT. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
There you go.
Well, but then the flip side is there somebody lying, or is somebody choosing not to talk about it? Because there's a big difference there, because there's a lot of people in the industry who basically gained their attention through talking about it. And what they did was they fucking pulled the curtain. Like a lot of the older guys got really pissed off because it pulled the curtain back on a lot of shit that the general public didn't know. And then what it did is all these fucking kids went running out to do this shit and started fucking themselves up.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself, are you in a position where talking about it is actually going to be helpful or hurtful?
There you go. We're hanging
out. Think about humanity right now when I'm talking about this, not just the local gym.
Yes,
that's a good point.
Keith, John, and Marty, Mornings in the Lab with Keith. We'll come back to the enhanced game. I think it's a great discussion. We got AJ in the gym this week too. We'll have the conversation. We can even move it to Friday on Free for All Friday. But guys, what if the guy teaching you to smash your limits was once over 300 pounds, homeless, and convinced his life was over? Jimmy, we're going to do the accountability check, and after I tease this hook coming up in a minute, and wait until you hear about his secret weapon for turning his thoughts into reality. John and Marty, the guy figured out the instructions. I see him both on the horizontal and the vertical. The guy clearly knows how to build an IKEA cabinet, because we know that not everybody can. Stick around, because the conversation coming up, Robby D'Angelo coming up in a minute. But before we do that, Jimmy, let's get to the accountability check, and let's keep the show rocking and rolling.
I am capable. I am strong. I will achieve my goals. Today is a new day.
Hey, are you the guy who's proud of the person in the mirror? Because time changes everyone. That's a true story. But not all change means progress. No. Those big goals can get lost in the grind. You know, the grind of life. And you barely notice it even happening. So you got to ask yourself this. Am I still working towards my audacious goals? Where did these things change in my journey? And then why did it happen? No shame. There's no judgment. It's just motherfucking truth. That's the true story you don't hear about. Then you got to take action to get after it again. It's those small daily decisions that matter. Move your body, ditch the snooze button, commit to something that matters daily. Be ruthless with your time. Say no more than you say yes. And if it doesn't serve you who you want to be, you got to say no. Don't say yes just to appease the person over there. Progress, you guys, isn't about overhauling your life. It's about making one small shift and stacking wins. Is it simple? Bah, it's not easy. But damn it, it's 100% worth it. That's your accountability check and getting after it every single day here at 8:15 Eastern time on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, coming up, we got a guy here who teaches you to smash your limits. Was he once over 300 pounds homeless and convinced his life was over? Jimmy, let's run the clip. Let's bring in D'Angelo with the hook.
What if your guide to smashing limits once weighed over 300 pounds, faced homelessness, and believed life was over? Meet Robby D'Angelo, the transformation guru who lost 115 pounds by changing his mindset first, not just his diet.
This former All-American football player and best-selling author didn't just transform physically, he revolutionized his mental operating system. Today, Robby empowers high performers to become absolutely undeniable.
Guys, we got Robby D'Angelo joining us, former All-American football player turned transformation guru, best-selling author. Of course he's a best-seller. Who's not a best-selling author? And the guy who figured out how to lose 115 pounds by changing his mind first, not his diet. Robby owns multiple businesses, sits on executive boards, and runs a nonprofit called Rise Up that's revolutionizing how schools handle mental health. Johnny Marty, he's obsessed. I love the word obsessed with making people undeniable. And yes, that's a technical term in his world. Let's dive into the mental biohacking, why your thoughts are sabotaging your success, and how a former 300-pound football player became the go-to coach for high performers who feel stuck at 70% of their potential. Let's welcome him in. Let's bring in our new friend this hour, Robby D'Angelo. What's going on,
up, brother?
Gentlemen, how are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Speaking my language, brother. I'm all about the mindset. You know, the body follows the mind, man. You're talking my language. Let's go, baby.
Oh, 100%. And I lived it firsthand.
Robby, where are you joining us from today, brother?
St. Petersburg, Florida, man. It's a beautiful day down here.
Oh, nicely done. Thanks for getting up this morning here. So, Robby, you went from being an All-American center to weighing 305 pounds because you kept eating like you were still playing football but without the workouts. What happened, brother? Football ended and you kept going after it, or what?
Man, my body got beat up playing college football.
Where did you play? Let's start off there, brother, so everybody understands. Where did you play?
I played at Southern Miss. Most people know Southern Miss from Brett Favre. Yeah, man. I got beat up playing. I had 6 knee surgeries just in my last couple of years, and my body said no moss. So when that happened, I had to make the reality to go to the real world, an adult. And when that happened, I was like, hey, I got to get this weight off, man. I always thought the weight was what was holding me back mentally. Only to discover, no, that was an inside job.
Marty, Johnny, I was doing a little research on D'Angelo here, and I got to tell you, man. So you collected degrees like you've collected Pokemon cards, man. You got a business administration degree, marketing, MBA, and finance, all while being an All-American athletic. Like, were you planning on being like the most educated dude, like in the gym, or what? Like, you just went after it nonstop. I love it because you just kept stimulating the brain, Robby.
Well, you know, playing college football, they make you go to class, and they make you go to class year round. So I was like, you know, I'm here. I might as well do something. Looking back in retrospect, absolutely just trying to overcome all the insecurities by getting as many degrees as possible. And somehow that would magically make me feel better about myself.
Yeah. Let's get into this transformation, brother. So you woke up one morning, you looked in the mirror, you maybe stood on the scale, you maybe put your pants on. And I'm asking this because there's men that we know listen to the show and are part of our journey that are going through what you went through. You stood there and you're like, holy fuck, this ain't good. You either didn't feel good physically or you didn't feel good mentally. But Robby, what was that holy crap moment for you?
Man, I was, obese most of my life. And playing college football was my excuse to be fat.
Made it okay.
It justified it, right? Like I had to be 300 pounds to play offensive line and be an All-American. So it gave me the mental justification to do it.
Thought about it that way.
And then once I got in plan, I always thought that my weight was the reason for my insecurity. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be confident. I actually want to get girls. Let me go on this weight loss journey. And then, you know, I lost 105 pounds in a year and didn't solve one issue I was dealing with.
Just Johnny, when you hear Robby speak, man. So Robby, you don't know John's story. John's talked often about his journey of being a fat little son of a bitch to being a world-class bodybuilder, world-class strongman, world-class wrestler, and he himself has struggled with food addictions, and I'm sure he's relating to money. You're saying, Johnny, when you hear some of the things Robby's talking about, what are you hearing from Robby right now? Like that moment.
He's basically, I mean, what he's describing is what pretty much everybody goes through.
Yeah.
Because they look at the problem and they attack the problem, what they think is the problem. What they're looking at is the exhaust of the problem. The problem is the way well, I'll include myself. It's the way we think. It's the way we live our lives. It's the self-sabotaging behavior patterns that we can't stop that beats our fucking self-esteem down. So you got to really look at, you know, what is it that you're doing? Because you could be overweight, but living your life in a way that was not self-sabotaging, and you would feel very differently. Now, the funny part is if you weren't self-sabotaging, you would end up losing that weight. But again, people get focused on the exhaust, not of the problem, not the actual problem.
Yeah, strategic veteran Adam Peters joining us in the show. Good morning, Adam. I see your name there, brother. 321 to 221 LFG. Nicely done. Robby.
That means let's fucking go.
I know it does. Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Thank you, Marty, for teaching me.
I got to check on the old guys, you know.
Robby, you've been homeless, 300 pounds, and also a championship bodybuilder and a business owner. Marty,
you got on the stage too, brother. Right on, man.
I've been on stage 3 times now, and
good for you.
I love it.
Were you Did you compete as a super heavyweight or a heavy?
Actually, because of all my knee surgeries, I have this inability to grow thigh muscle now. I walk around like SpongeBob.
So you want physique? Wore the pants. There you go.
I'm a physique
Good for
guy.
you, brother. Good for you. Hey, that's the whole reason they had that class, is to open up for people that had issues just like yourself. Good for you, brother. Because most people would say, oh, I can't get on stage because I have this problem. Bullshit.
It's so stupid. Just a limitation in your brain.
So then, Robby,
yes.
How did hitting that rock bottom change your approach to men's mental health and performance? Because, you know, you were there, 300 pounds, championship bodybuilder, business owner, homeless. You hit bottom. When in your journey did you realize that it was mental health and that you had to focus on that?
When I kept living the definition of insanity and making the same mistake over and over again, like I would just try something different, but end in the same result. And I'm like, okay, I'm so sick of just living Groundhog Day. Something actually has to change. And that's when I started doing the real deep work to understand why. Why do I keep living this pattern over and over and over again?
Yeah, that's so beautiful, brother. And that's going back to it all come. I refer to our days as loops. It's a loop. You got 24 hours. You got these 24-hour chunks, and you look at your daily loop. You know, what shit are you doing? Which time slots are you fucking up in? Okay, let's register that. You know, that time slot between 8 and 9 p.m. This is where one of the major roots of my self-sabotaging behavior patterns. Okay, I know I need to take that time slot and rearrange what I'm doing. Break it down to the most simple format. I would say that's probably what's made me and what makes me a good coach and mentor is I take things that are complex, that are confusing, and I just fucking distill them and simplify them to where it just seems, wow, how did I not understand that?
We're hanging out with Robby D'Angelo, former All-American football player turned transformation guru. He owns multiple businesses, sits on executive boards, and runs a nonprofit called Rise Up. Jimmy, let's do the fit tip with Marty, and then Robby, can you stick around for another? Let's do it.
That was him.
You froze, man.
You froze, brother. Come again.
I froze. I know. Thanks, guys.
All right.
You were extending your invitation, so Robby couldn't hear you.
You didn't ask Robby the question, Keith.
Okay, I'm having a technical issue.
So, Robby, I'm going to do it for you. Can you stick around for the next segment?
I'm here, brother.
Robby, there we go. Keith, we're good. He's sticking around.
Thanks, my assistant, Johnny.
Oh man, sorry, y'all. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Stop waiting for a fresh start. All right. You want to get fit when you got a wedding coming up. You want to get fit when you got a vacation coming up, or the high school reunion, the family reunion, the college reunion. But if you stay on point year round, you don't have to worry about that. So now you're trying to rush, you're trying to scramble, you're trying to look for the quick fix. And what does that lead to? You do something crazy off the wall that's not sustainable. You gain the weight back, you lose the muscle. Whatever your goal is, you go in the opposite direction because you wait for a fresh start. This right here is just like the loop that Johnny was talking about. You keep starting over, and you end up going backwards. Years later, you made no progress. You've had the gym membership, you've been paying for a trainer, you've been buying new gym clothes, buying supplements, buying meal preps. Find something you can stick with. Find something sustainable, right? That'll hold you accountable on your discipline and something you can stay consistent with. The fresh start phase, you got to stop that. Get it out your head. It's not going to work. It's not going to lead to a long-term result. So get it out your mind. That's the fitness tip for today.
This tip of the day. Hey guys, I'm trying some new things here in the lab. So if there's some stutter freezes, it's because I've got a lot of technical things going on behind the scenes. And hey, we always preach progress over perfection.
Hey,
so
Keith, that's the second day in a row before my fitness tip. You did something goofy. Come on, man. I need you to tighten up and get it together, man. Come on, man.
Well, you know what I'm going to do, I realize moving forward, what I'm going to do is when you freeze up in the moment where you're trying to communicate with the guest on a pivotal thing, I'll pick up the thing and keep running so that you don't have to worry about rocking, man. Like he starts rocking like Rain Man to see if he's back. And the guest is sitting there. The guest is sitting there going, what did this motherfucker start to have a seizure?
Or I can do like Axl Rose too.
And then Marty and I are like, hey, Marty, we're talking to you. Hey, are you there? And the guest is going, what just happened? You know
who you are? You're in the jungle, baby.
There you go. We did some Axl this morning as well. Hey, listen, Robby, you talk about upgrading people's mental operating systems, and you spend much of your time focusing on the mental side of things. If our brains were computers, what do you think, in your experience, Robby, is the most common virus you see within your clients and the folks that you're working with?
Good question.
Identity. A lot of times, especially as men, we operate for identity instead of from an identity. And you ask a guy like, hey, who are you? And they're going to tell you their job. They're going to tell you their husband or whatever.
Talk about that all the time.
That's your vocation or what you do. But who actually are you? They have no ethos playbook for life. And if you don't have a playbook for life, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, dude, I love that. That's so, I mean, when you can ask 99 out of 100 men will tell you what they do for money, for their identity. When it's something simple, like for you, when someone's asked that of me, is I will do the shit that most people won't do. Bam. That's the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth. I mean, my identity goes deeper than that, but that's the front door.
So then, Robby, taking that and then from that philosophy you have, you know, I've done, again, continuing my research before our show here today. Your clients see crazy results, man. 28% revenue increase in 90 days, 61% revenue increase in 14 weeks. So what are you actually doing when you're working with your clients and their brains? How are you redefining their identities?
Man, I take a constraint-based coaching model. So we're looking at where you're at, where you're trying to go, and we're identifying those constraints that are keeping you from that. And then, like John mentioned earlier, I'm looking for the most effective, efficient path to solve that constraint. Don't complicate this. What's the win?
Yeah,
and how do we execute on that win? And sadly, like most guys, they just need a damn accountability buddy to hold them accountable to those simple action steps to execute. But yeah, it's a constraints-based coaching model where we're just looking for the wins.
Yeah. So I'm going to think that you subscribe very much to the Andersen philosophy that life overcomplicates many things. Because if you're talking constraint, you're actually saying, I'm sitting down with you, Billis, and I'm taking more away from you to offer you more success by taking away instead of offering more. That's what you're doing, isn't it? It's like saying, I'm removing all the crap. I'm going to, and I'm going to.
You don't need to remove all, just remove one. Remove one fucking bad habit and watch your shit start propelled forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things of adulting we have to do is we have to unlearn most of the crap that we've learned that's holding us back. That's why I say operate from identity, not for identity. You already have everything you need internal to that computer, but we've stacked so many crappy programs on that base operating system that that's what's preventing us from achieving our goals.
Yeah.
This guy's like my brother. Jesus Christ.
I know it. Absolutely. So it's okay. So speaking of brothers, hey, so we've been adding some guests onto our show, and we had a nice young lady on the show last week who happened to be a dating coach. Well, Robby, apparently you seem to be a dating coach now too. And so yes, Marty, Johnny, Robby D'Angelo is also a dating coach. Talk to
You're
us
shitting me. Oh, I want to hear this. Let's go, baby.
Listen, Johnny, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Talk about mental optimization translating to finding love. And brother, how did you get there? Like, how did you end up being, okay, I'm 305 pounds, losing 100 pounds, being a mental health coach. Now I'm going to be a dating coach.
Well, I mean, look, you work with men for as long as I have, for over a decade now, and it's a natural thing that always comes up. Most men have their relationship screw up everything else in their life, and then they wonder why they're not getting results. So I'm like, okay, I've got to solve this problem. I've got to work with men to have better relationships so we can remove that constraint from their performance. And, most guys, if I can get their relationship healthier and happier, then that's got a multiplication effect in everything else in their life.
Oh, that's awesome. So Robby, where does that start? Like, and what I mean by that is that, like, if you're a dating coach, you're really helping a man, I'm suspecting, be extremely comfortable with himself first. And that probably is the most common challenge a guy's having coming to you, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And men, we're this very simple creature that we need evidence. We don't need theory. We don't need some great affirmation. No, we need concrete evidence that I am who I say I am. So one of the things I have to do with guys, I have to go build that evidence. Like, let's create something simple today, something that you don't have an excuse not to do. And that's my job as a coach, is to remove all your damn excuses. And you're telling me the only reason I don't want this, the only reason I don't have this is because I don't want this. So I'm just creating these little action steps to go gain real evidence that you should have confidence.
Oh, I love it. Looking back at the comments. Good morning, Lauren. I see a comment there, baby. Good to have you on the show this morning. We got Bernard coming in with, if your relationship is based on lifting each other up and supporting each other in the first place is prime. There you go. Right. So that's coming in from Bernard. Robby, your parents, both teachers and coaches. I'm going to make an assumption that growing up in that environment prepared you for this work, but then on the same breath, it also could have rebelled you against it. How did you end up here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely grew up in this coaching world, but I realized very quickly that if I want to achieve my goals, it probably wasn't going to happen inside of a school system. But I tell you, the beautiful thing that happened for me was growing up with both my parents being teachers and coaches. I got to see the effects of that when kids would come back to my parents and they would tell me, hey, your mom or dad changed my life. Yeah. And that for me is what hit home. Like, wow, like you really do have the ability to influence someone's life if you care, like that comment just said. And so that kind of instilled in me the want to do this. And then, of course, my parents were great at showing me really two sides of coaching, both from like a male football coach, that old school Bear Bryant mentality. And then my mom, basketball coach, a little bit more of that loving, inspiring mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. Robby, we talk.
It's in your blood, brother. It's in your blood.
It is absolutely in his blood. Yeah. Yeah. We talk on the show often, Robby, about limiting beliefs, and we're big fans of helping folks see past their limiting beliefs. Now, you help high performers who feel stuck at 70% of their potential. When somebody comes to you and you start listening to them and they start communicating with you, I'm curious, because I'm curious to see if some of the responses are similar to what Marty and John often throw on the table. What do you find is causing somebody to feel they're at that ceiling when they're at 70%? And they're like, no, I'm maxed out. I'm stuck. I can't get any further.
It's just a story, man. It's absolutely just a story they're telling themselves. One of the things I do with my guys I work with is I start building into a protocol of separating truth from story. Because oftentimes that limiting belief is just a BS story you're telling yourself that's not true. So we go and ground ourselves in evidence. We look back at past, I call it the confidence bank. So we build this confidence bank of past victories, past wins that when they are having those limiting beliefs, that stupid imposter syndrome that might kick up, we go back and refer to the concrete evidence that I am this person, I am capable, and then we act upon that. So it's basically, once again, rerouting yourself in the identity of I am capable.
Our mind plays tricks though, Robby, and our mind doesn't always want to see proof and evidence. So when, you know, somebody's coming into and saying, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, is it just continual work to get them past their limiting beliefs, Robby?
Hey, look, one of the things that about this personal transformation world is we want this like magic pill, this light switch that we can just flip to change our lives. But when it comes to rewriting that internal operating system, it is something you have to repeatedly do. And the more you do it, John, you understand this, man's building muscles. I'm building my willpower muscle. I'm building my confidence muscle. And the more I take action on these things, the more I'm building those muscles. And at the same time, I have to constantly be reminding myself of my identity from which I'm taking action.
Brother, I tell all my clients, and I tell these guys, if a man trained his brain like he trained his chest, his life, he'd have whatever he want in his life. I mean, I teach a 5-minute daily exercise, which is really kind of what you're talking about. It's repetition. And really what it comes down to is I try to break it down simple. You know, when you get these guys that are kind of lost, they're living in this losing mindset. They're constantly questioning themselves. Their confidence is gone. So we've got to kind of rewrite their thought process, get them into that winning mindset. When they live there, they're making a different set of decisions. And so for me, that 5 minutes every morning, and I do it myself. Everything I teach is what I do myself. It's getting you or getting my clients in that winning mindset to make those winning decisions every fucking day. You have to earn that shit every day. You don't just say, I'm going to be in a winning mindset for the next fucking decade. You can, but you got to earn it every fucking morning.
And show up every single morning. Hey, hanging out with Robby D'Angelo all the way from Southern Florida today. Robby owns multiple businesses, sits on executive boards, and runs a nonprofit called Rise Up that revolutionizing how schools handle mental health. Robby, tell us a little bit about Rise and why you decided to focus on kids' mental health in schools. What's broken and how we're handling this, Robby?
I knew how bad my mental health was growing up, being overweight, being picked on, being bullied. And I started.
Oh my God, dude, we were separated at birth. Fuck.
Yes.
So like understanding my childhood and then also just kind of started getting out in the world and being around kids. I see the insecurity. I see the fear. So I started just like, you know, hey, how can I help teachers? Both my parents are teachers. I know the effects that teachers have on children, and I know how children rebel against their parents and the influence that teachers then have. So I started like just trying to help teachers, realizing that, hey, we're not teaching emotional intelligence. Hey, we're not teaching confidence. We're not teaching just how to be present, right? So a crazy story, like one of the schools I worked with, this was an elementary school, and I actually had to get the school staff mental health first aid certified. In elementary school, the kids were having like panic attacks. And I'm like, this is not right. I've got to do something to help. Yeah, it's craziness, the mental health that our kids are suffering through right now, and no one's really trained to help.
Robby, do you have children?
I do not.
You do not? Interesting. No. Okay. Perhaps part of your path one day?
Absolutely. 100%.
I can tell in listening to you that you're going to be an exceptional father one day, especially leaning into the things you're talking about, man. Johnny, yeah.
100%. You know, I just my brain starts racing. I think that elementary level child that is so overstimulated, it's no fucking wonder this is happening. I mean, just get rid of that fucking phone. Get rid of that one device. Will slow down that crazy stimulation that their brains aren't fucking set up to handle yet. That would make a massive difference. Yeah, not that we can push a button and let that happen, because parents give their kids phone because it keeps them fucking occupied.
Yeah, I mean, you do the research on Coco Melon and the crazy TV shows that kids are watching these days and how overstimulated it makes their dopamine, to where if they don't have that constant addiction to it, then they're freaking out. They don't know how to act in the real world, and that's a real problem.
Yeah, massive.
Morning, Jay. I see you there in the comments. You're hanging out with myself, Robby D'Angelo, Jon Andersen, and C. Marty Fit this morning. Lady Drew, I see you in the comments as well. Good morning, guys. Hey, listen, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the Lifestyle Fit with Jon Andersen, take a quick little break here. Robby, if you got time, we'd love to have you stick around, man. I want to talk about the 5 a.m. workout. Can you hang out? Can you hang out with us, Robby?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Marty's got a rock and roll as well. Marty, what do you got going on the agenda today, brother? You going to go to Gold's and some muscles? Yeah. Or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around a little bit, man. I want to hear what Robby got to say, man.
Let's do that. Let's do the lifestyle.
Hold on. You realize this? Marty's playing. He's playing favorites here because when he doesn't like the guest, he's got to go.
Hey, listen, man. Hey.
I see this very clearly now.
Hey, I'll be a few minutes late for a great guest, man. But
I love it. Yeah. Marty's flexible. Here's how it works. We're gonna have some wise words from Jon Andersen coming up for about a minute. We can all step away for 30 or 45 seconds. We're gonna come back. We're gonna keep the show rock and rolling. I'm gonna dig into the 5 a.m. advantage when we get back from the segment already. Let's do it.
Every day we have a choice. Or put it another way, every day we have the ability to be in a winning mindset. Or if you don't take action, if you don't take the steps, you can be in a losing mindset. We all know the difference. We've all been in that situation when you've lost something. Maybe it's a competition, maybe whatever it is, and your confidence is gone. You don't think you can do it as well as you used to be able to do it. Your brain goes wild. And those decisions you make in that mindset take your life in a direction, most cases, you don't want it to go. Or flip the script. You can recognize that every day you can earn that winning mindset. Maybe it takes you 2 minutes, maybe it takes you 20. It's going to be different for everybody, but you got to do it every day. You hear me say all the time, if a man worked his brain like he worked his chest, he'd have whatever he wants in his life. It's because that man that works his brain every day, he earns that winning mindset. He earns that successful position in his mind, and the decisions he makes changes his life in a way that he wants it to go. So the question is simple. Are you recognizing you have the choice? Number one. Number two, are you taking the steps to put yourself in that winning mindset, in the mindset that you want to be in, so you can create the life you choose? This is what I do. I help people get better within their lives, especially business owners. I've been a business owner my whole life. Never had a job, never collected a paycheck, never been to a goddamn interview. So business owners, if you're investing so much in your business, and you just can't understand what's going on, seems like nothing's happening. Well, it's because you're trying to build your business and you're not building yourself. This is my specialty. You want to talk more about it, drop my DM, say, hey, let's chop it up a little bit. At very least, I'm going to give you what I call the Monster Mindset, which is a mental handbook that's going to help you get your mind moving in the right direction. That being said, let's make it a good day. Rock and roll.
Ever wondered why top achievers swear by waking at 5 a.m.? It's not punishment. It's power. Early morning science reveals your brain produces theta waves, unlocking creativity, strategic thinking, and peak performance.
It's not just about early rising, but mastering the victory hour. 3 strategic segments of 20 minutes each. Movement for energy, reflection for emotional resilience, learning for cognitive sharpness. The payoff? Triple productivity, laser focus, and unstoppable momentum. Master your life. Your victory hour starts tomorrow.
Ever wonder why successful people wake their ass up in the middle of the night? Some by 5 a.m., some of us by 3 a.m. Well, we're going to break down the 5 a.m. advantage, the morning hack that transforms productivity, focus, and overall life satisfaction with our guest here this morning, Robby D'Angelo. Robby, morning guy, night guy, what's the success to getting after, brother? Is it starting in the morning or is it starting the night before?
Why not do both, man?
I love
the best way to have a great morning is to have a great night.
Well, so lean into that, brother, because I want to go here with you, because I got to think that when you're 305 pounds during your transformation, a lot of that shit happened between the hours of probably 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night when you're in the kitchen. Yeah, right? And your face. The pantry and the fridge, right? Because you're like, okay. And you can't make those, and those decisions just feed each other, right? So talk about the night before, Robby, on how that's really the key to the great morning.
Yeah, as Jon mentioned earlier, man, that's when those demons creep in.
Yes.
And that's when those idle hands and that bored eating and all that comes into play when you've had a long, stressful day and the day starts to add up and the cortisol's there. You start getting those cravings. But the reason the night is so important is that's where we stack our wins. And that's when we also drop into gratitude about all the amazing blessings of the day, but also your brain actually files the files away while you sleep. Your brain washes itself while you sleep. So one of the best things to do is just brain dump before you go to bed. Write out your next day to-do list so your brain's already working on that before you ever even freaking wake up the next day.
So we like offering things to people. So we're big fans on this show of don't do what Johnny says or what Marty says or Keith says. Find what works best for you. We're always about offering tips, offering ideas, learning from guests. So it sounds like you're somebody who takes your day and in the evening you dump it out. Am I correct? And then you restart the next day. Share with us your habits on how you process the end of your day, Robby.
Yeah, basically at the end of my day, I kind of use the switch there to go from, absolutely proactive productivity to like, okay, bro, you're good now. Because one of the biggest things that we need before we go to sleep is a sense of peace. So at the end of the day, I like to just unload everything about my day and just mentally process, the things that went right, the things that went wrong, the things I need to work on, the things I need to learn. What could I have done better? But also, last thing I do always is just drop into a state of gratitude to settle those nerves so I can actually sleep and get some rest for the next day.
And real quick on that level, brother, I so agree. This is what I teach and preach too. When you do that, the science behind that, when you drop into that state of gratitude, your brain starts pumping out all the chemistry, the serotonin, the oxytocin, that actually relaxes you and puts you into a state where you're going to go to sleep. And if you keep your brain, you start your brain in a direction, it'll keep going that direction. If you just keep bumping on it, it's like a big tree. Just give it a whack, just little bumps, Next thing you know, you've slept all fucking night with all of these amazing thoughts and in this state of gratitude. You wake up in a better state.
Yeah. Marty.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. Robby speaking the same language as us.
Very much.
One thing I like to do, I like to write stuff down, and I'm always putting positive things in my ear. So I always talk about waking up to positive things, but going to sleep on a positive note is great too. I'm actually glad we're having this convo because I actually went to sleep on a negative note last night.
Oh.
So I'm glad Rob's kicking my ass right now and giving me this reminder. So this is actually amazing.
So let's stay here. So you went to sleep on a negative note because it happens to all of us. Robby talks about finding gratitude before he goes to bed. So clearly there's a gap there. There's a gap for you, Marty, on I wasn't grateful. Robby really preaches gratitude. I know Johnny does as well. Where do you think that gap was, Marty? And then Robby, what advice would you give to Marty to find that gratitude before he closes those eyes? Like let's try to close that gap there.
Well, I think for me, Johnny gets on me about this all the time, planning my day out.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I did a shitty job of planning my day yesterday, and I tried to do too much and tried to, rush some stuff at night, and everything didn't get done. So, I did a better job of that today. So today will be a better day.
Well, also too, brother, one of the things that you're planning is one thing, but then you're at that age where you're still developing the systems within that plan that carries shit out. Because as you get further along, I guarantee our Amanda is going to agree with this. It's either a person or a system carrying out tasks. It's that way you're basically just putting the shit, you plan it out. Somebody's got this responsibility handled for me, or this system is, you might actually be the person carrying the system, but everything is a system or a person. And it just keeps this fucking clarity in what's going on, because we don't get overwhelmed with having to make decisions. Usually we make a decision on the fly in a tough situation. Sometimes it's not the right one, but if you've already pre-planned it out and created a system for it, it just cruises.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, to wrap that up, man, I teach guys how to go from the warrior to the king mentality. And what you're mentioning right there is most guys are living in that warrior mentality of fight, grind, hustle, achieve, get it all out there. And what I teach is exactly that. Go into the king mentality of now you're building a kingdom which has those people, systems, and processes that are operating. And hey, maybe something didn't get done. You send an email of who can take care of that for you. So it's just a total transfer of the way you're looking at things. Like, no, get out of the hustle and grind and start being the king of the kingdom.
Right. And it's so you get like, I'm actually in the process of starting a new company right now. And it's just basically all of these, I guess you could call them warriors, because everybody's got to be a warrior to get to be the king. I got all these warriors in place, and I'm just kind of doling out, okay, this is a great task for this person. This is a great task for, oh shit, I don't have a person in place for that one. So better create a system so I can hand it off to this warrior, you know. But I love that, bro. I'm gonna use that analogy. I'm big on analogies. I love that.
So Robby, I gotta think during your journey, Robby, you discovered a lot of different habits and you tried a lot of things to figure out a system that worked best for you. I'm curious, what's one habit that you've added to your morning or even your evening that very much surprised you with its benefits? You're like, oh, that's actually better than I thought.
Honestly, the biggest game changer for me, you know, I was doing all the energy priming, the breathing, the stretching. I was doing all the things. The biggest thing that made a difference in my life was as soon as I finished kind of my morning ritual, just dropping into a state of prayer on my knees and just totally thanking God for where I'm at, what's going on in my life,
awesome.
Asking for strength, asking for peace, and just really also, you know, on the tail end of that, praying for other people, putting myself in a place where I'm asking God to help other people, gets me out of the I and me pronouns and focusing on other people in a state of service, in a state of love, and closing my morning ritual with that on my knees prayer really, really kind of sets my tone for the day.
If you guys could see me, I just got goosebumps came over me here. Like, honest to God, the way you express that, because I'm imagining in my head, Robby, as you're ending your ritual, you're just full of gratitude, and I'm using the L word, love, for everyone else around you. Would that be fair for me to say? Probably, because you're coming out of that moment full of gratitude and love. And I'm also going to make another assumption that if you did nothing for the rest of the day, glasses off for this one, you as a human are at peace with yourself.
That is honestly my daily goal. I always tell clients, hey, win the day. Win the day. John, you know some bodybuilding, man. We just got to make it till we go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then we'll wake up to the battles the next day.
That's what I say that all the time. You win the day, you win the war of whatever you're working for. Because there's so many, win your daily battle. You win. There's so many battles in the war. And if you win your daily battle, you're guaranteed to win the war of life.
Tomorrow's anxieties will be there. Win today. So yeah, that state of prayer, just, it puts me where I need to be to win the day. But what you're going back to, Keith, is absolutely, man. I tell guys, like, your goal every day in winning the day is when you put your head on your pillow at night to say, hey, well done. You kicked ass today.
Yes.
Good job. You can actually go to sleep in peace now. So the whole point of the day is to get to that feeling.
Yes. Head on the pillow, made some progress. I'm happy with my efforts, because you judge your efforts, not your outcomes, and you can't control your outcomes. I love this, brother. God damn it.
Robby, have you always been a man of faith, or did you discover this through your journey of life?
So I definitely grew up Catholic, and that was an interesting journey. But
I haven't heard that term before. That's pretty good. So what is it, baptized Catholic? Is that what it was? Just kind of in between there?
My mom was Baptist. My dad was Catholic.
Yeah.
So I grew up with both sides of the faith there. And for me, honestly, you mentioned being homeless. And I was always kind of a Christian. I believed in a God, but not necessarily like the true heart of Jesus.
Yes.
But when I was at my rock bottom moment and I was rebuilding my life, living out of my car, laying concrete pavers to put money in my pocket and feed myself, I was listening to probably 5-6 hours of sermons a day. And it gave me that strength and perseverance through being homeless. John, I mean, I got a gym membership to the local gym for $25 just so I can take a shower every day.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. There was a period where I had a vehicle. It had no second gear, right? And I was the money that I had was needed to be for gas. So I was going to grocery stores. Those are the days where they had the bins. I'd go to the grocery stores, I'd eat out of the bins and leave. You know, so we're in the same spot, just kind of a different definition, you know.
Marty, you're a man of faith. You're a man of strong faith, and I have such admiration and love for you because of your discipline for that. As you hear Robby talk about his journey, what jumps out at you, Marty, when you hear his journey?
Just faith is absolutely necessary, man. So it makes me feel good, you know, seeing someone successful like Robby talk about his journey, talk about how faith played a part in it and how he was able to overcome, you know, some of the obstacles in his life.
Robby, as you leaned into that and you found peace with that, and as men come through your world, and I know you're not pushing faith on somebody, but I'm thinking that the spirituality is the foundation for much of what you speak of. When you're speaking with men who maybe are uncertain about that, how do they lean into your experiences, and do they walk towards that with you? And have you found men going, I want to learn more about that, Robby?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're actively living out your faith and preaching the silent sermon, people are always like, what's different? Like, where does one of my clients this past year, atheist guy, he's like, hey, where does this truth come from? Like, where does this love come from? And that's my opportunity to lean into it more. But your job is to live the silent sermon with anybody you come in contact with, that you're living the presence of God. And then what's going to happen is that just kind of washes all over them to the point where they're going to become curious of where does all this come from? So you're right. I'm not like in your face. I'm not going to throw it on you, but you're going to know. You're going to know by my actions, not because I'm preaching to you.
Bernard coming in with, I believe in the same. Bernard's a regular member of the community here. We're all part of this world, no matter what creation of God. Hey, we're hanging out with Robby D'Angelo in the second hour mornings live with Keith and friends. We're going to wrap up with Robby here. He's a best-selling author, international
Let me get out of here too, guys.
Marty's got to rock and roll here. Marty?
Yes, sir.
Have a good look, brother.
Week, man. Yes, sir. You too.
Marty, appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, man.
We're going to rock Marty out of here, and we're going to do some closing questions with Robby D'Angelo here before we wrap up here. He's a best-selling author, international transformational speaker, and he's got Robby D'Angelo coaching and consulting, the Biohacked Life. Robby, let's get after it, man, with some closers for you. Coffee or pre-workout?
Depends on the day. I'm a huge pre-workout fan, but right now it is coffee and stem-free pre-workout.
Coffee and a what? A stem-free workout?
Stem-free, no stimulant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. I like that. Okay, yeah. Most embarrassing weight you lifted in college?
Most embarrassing weight would probably have been my bench press. I was only a 415 bench guy.
Oh, there you go. Only a 415.
Well, but you got to understand, he's in the trenches with dudes that are really fucking. I mean, 500-pound bench press is pretty common in when you're in a pit like that,
Yes.
And it's a fight, man. That's a fight in there, man.
Robby, what's one word you would ban from the self-help industry?
One word I would ban would be anything around political correctness or, hiding away from the truth.
Let's lean into that. So tell me a little bit about that. So you would ban anything around political correctness. In other words, let's tell truth is what you're saying.
Well, so much in the personal transformation world is feel good. And I want to just feel good about what I'm doing. I want this emotionalism. But a lot of times the emotionalism doesn't actually change anything. You just feel better about the crap you're in. So I'm a firm believer. And look, let's actually talk the truth. And the truth is what's going to move you.
Fuck. Andersen, I like this guy, man. I think we might have to adopt him. Robby, favorite way to biohack that sounds weird, but it actually works?
Easiest would be sleep. It's we don't do enough of that. Sleep, water, electrolytes, like the simple stuff. Quit overcomplicating this. Most guys that I've worked with, they try to do step 9 and 10 of the biohacking world. They're not even doing 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you're doing the basics,
brother.
First, and then add
you
on.
Love this, brother. I have a fucking hard 8 p.m. bedtime, and I've had this most of my life.
Yeah.
Period. I'm going to bed at 8 because those hours of sleep make all the difference.
If you're not sleeping, nothing else is going to work.
Well, you know what I've done too since this show here, and I've been working hard at my sleep. What I've been doing is I'm heading to bed at 8 o'clock too. Now lights out by 9, but Robby, what has done most for me? It's eliminated the pantry and the kitchen and the fridge choices. Right, those bad decisions, right, and it's because that's when they happen. They happen after 7 o'clock at night. So I'm going to sleep, and life is so wired to not have a sleep. Right, late night hockey games, late night TV shows, everything's late night. It's like no, I got to work hard to get to sleep. I love that you really leaned into that. That's just the number one life hack, isn't it? And then Robby, what's the last time that you felt genuinely undeniable?
I did a conference in Wisconsin a few months ago, and I was just leading guys through some systems and processes about talent development inside of a business. and we saw some real change happen over a 1.5-day workshop. And that's what I live for, man. That's my crack. It's the most addicting thing there is when you see actual real life change, especially in a short period of time like that.
Yeah. Let's close it up, brother. If you had to write your autobiography's chapter titles based on your transformation from 305-pound former athlete to mental optimization guru, what would be the most surprising chapter? What would it be called? And what would people say, wait, that happened too?
The most surprising chapter would probably be the one where I was homeless, because that was a long story of moving across country twice, a female that came to my life that definitely didn't help things. It was like a series of events that all led to that. But then the way that you can come out of that, and it ain't rocket science. It's just doing the work and being consistent.
Dude, I love it. I love it. One of the things I say all the time is, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Bro, I got to show you this.
Oh my God, Johnny.
Crazy, brother. Crazy.
That's awesome. Robby, I do have one more question for you. What did your parents teach you?
Oh, man. My dad taught me hard work. He taught me what it means to show up every day. And my mom taught me just to love on people. She had an amazing way to connect and show people that they're deeply seen and heard, which is a rarity in today's world, today's surface world. So I think that's, two of the biggest lessons they taught me that I'm able to actually implement in my life today, is that combination of the masculine hard work, determination, consistency, but also being able to dip in to that deeply seeing and hearing someone to make them feel like they can do it too.
I love over your right shoulder, I see the D word, which is discipline.
Yes.
And I know that's a hard word on this show.
Dirty D word, man.
It really is. Yeah.
People don't like that word. They don't like habits. They don't like all this shit that's necessary. They run from.
I laugh about it, man. That's why I suck at marketing, is because I tell people it's hard work. And I tell people you're going to have to do some things that are uncomfortable and you don't want to do. But it's the truth. It's the only way to actually make things happen.
Yeah. Robby, I got to tell you, man, I was supposed to let you go 10 minutes ago, but Johnny, I think I keep finding myself walking towards the camera and walking towards the
I got a question. How old are you, brother?
Yeah.
I'm 41.
Good for you, man.
Dude, you're awesome.
In a fucking great groove of life. And I'll tell you that the 40s for me was just like, holy shit, everything's just coming together. So I can only imagine what your next decade is going to be like, brother.
I don't want this to feel like a big old love fest, but Robby, I feel like I'm walking towards the camera because I'm being sincere. Like I want more from you, like what you're giving. That's why I asked you about your parents, because there's something in you and there's something you're putting out there that clearly comes from a good space, and it's coming from mom and dad, isn't it, D'Angelo?
100%, man. My parents, of course, like every parents, they had their flaws, but I knew they loved me. And I know that, look, there was times where, me and my dad, we literally wanted to fist fight. But I thank him for those lessons now.
Yeah.
My mom, she was also a coach, so she wasn't exactly the softest person all the time. But she had a hell of a backhand. But I thank him for those lessons now. And the things that they instilled in me, it's who I am today. Because you guys know this. I mean, 85% of your personality is formed by the time you're 7 years old. Yeah. And that comes from your parents. So I am absolutely blessed to have the parents that I did. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about working with men these days, is to be better fathers. I love the Indian saying of change a man, change his next 7 generations. And that's just fuel to my fire of creating that ripple effect.
One of the reasons I wear the glasses is just to have the scroll stop. But the other reason is to keep the moisture in my eyes, because my eyes are misty here for the last 30 minutes here, brother, with you. I got to ask one last question. I'm sorry for taking your time, but I'm having a hard time in my own head reconciling with one thing. And my reconciliation is you being homeless with 2 wonderful, caring parents, and how that was happening.
Man, that is called pride. Dude. And that is called like, I got this, I can do this, I don't need any help, I'll figure this out. You know, all those typical stories that men we like to tell ourselves.
Yes.
So I just didn't ask for help. I went and found a guy that could give me some work. I lived out of my car. I did it the hard way instead of asking for help. I know my parents would have been there if I would have asked, but pride is the fall of many a great man. Look, it's a repeating story all throughout the Bible. So most great men fell because of pride.
So then what did you learn from that? What would you tell somebody who's in your shoes right now, Robby, who is either fighting their pride, fighting the help, fighting their own mirror, or not wanting to accept any of that? What advice would you give that fellow right now?
Look, as men, we love helping other men, especially the men that are right below us in the journey, the men that are right behind us. There's just something special about the way helping other men. And it goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yes.
When he produced that original hierarchy, self-optimization was the top level, but he realized like, hey, that's inherently selfish and not fulfilling. So he reproduced the pyramid with self-transcendence actually being the most fulfilling thing a human can do, which that basically is become the best version of yourself, teach others how to do the same. So if we know that's a fact about the human condition, now you know that you're not alone. Other men have probably been through this too. And all you need to do is reach out, man. There's so many brothers out there that are willing and wanting to help you.
Robby D'Angelo joining us all the way from Florida today, international speaker, performance coach, talent development consultant. Robby, you're fucking incredible, man. I'm telling you, you're right up there right now on the Johnny, some of the all-time. I'm not going to press the button, Johnny. Trust me, because I haven't updated it yet. So, Robby,
and so you know that button is he's got this goat button, but it sounds like a fucking castrated goat. So I told him if we get a real goat on here, don't fucking give him that button.
Come on, man. Don't do that to me.
D'Angelo, where can everybody find you, connect with you, engage with you? Please take a minute to tell the world about how they can connect with you and find you and work with you and meet you and get to know Robby D'Angelo.
Man, it's just at Robby D'Angelo on all the social medias. I love having the conversations. I'll spend all day in the DMs if it's helping guys. Yesterday, I spent half my day just reaching out to guys like, hey, man, how can I pray for you? But I love just connecting with guys. So just, reach out to me at DMs, man. Follow me on social media. I'm posting content almost daily.
Robby, I'm gonna ask my personal assistant, Keith, to send you my phone number so we're connected, not on social media, because I would hate our communication to get lost. As you know, there's so much action going on there. So Keith, please forward my number properly this time.
I love that, man, and I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah, D'Angelo, you don't know, but Johnny was on the show one time, and he showed up here last June, and he hasn't left yet. And during our relationship journey together, I've inherited a new title. I'm now John's official assistant. So when guests come on the show and want to connect with John, there's Uncle Keith over here connecting.
It's a person or a system that handles all the business. And you're
talking about building the kingdom with your systems. There's one.
That's it.
Delegation.
That's it.
I got to tell you, Robby, the comments are coming in pretty good with you here too. Bernard, I see your comments there. My dad said, if you don't look out for number one, no one else will, and you can't help anyone else if you don't help yourself first. And Lady Drew is also coming in saying one should always be true to themselves, all lives, and promote the positive ways and things. We got an incredible community here, Robby. And guys, I didn't get to all your comments here today. We got some great stuff coming from Robby D'Angelo today. Robby, brother, will you come back and hang out with us again? Seriously.
I'd love to, man. I love these conversations, and anytime I get a chance to just help and serve in any way, I'm always down for it.
Yeah. Matty Roof coming in. Amazing guest. Can't wait to meet you later. Matt Roof coming in with Kindness Rising. Robby, what do you got on the plot? What do you got on the agenda today, man? You're going to leave us. What's next? You heading to the gym? You got some clients. What's on your agenda next, brother?
I am actually heading to the gym, and then I've got a couple business clients, and then a couple personal clients later this afternoon. So Tuesday and Wednesday are actually my two busiest days of the week on purpose.
Yes.
I like to tail off towards the end of the week and get a little bit ready for some rest and Sabbath on the weekend. But yeah, man, just a full day of coaching calls. What are you getting after in the gym today? Is it deep cheeks day? Is it legs day today? It's Tuesday for you. What are you getting in the gym today? So my split's always wonky, but today is actually arms and abs. Nice. There you go. I crushed the deep cheeks. Pretty much. Awesome. Robby D'Angelo, I'm very grateful for your time. You spent more time than I could have imagined, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much. Absolutely, guys. I love and appreciate everything y'all are doing, and thank you so much for having me on today. Awesome.
Great getting to know you, brother.
Appreciate
really cool.
You,
yeah, man. You got it. Appreciate you too.
I agree it. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Robby out of here. Guys, you can join the conversation 431-300-3005. The hotline, the text lines, the voice lines are open. Johnny, dude, I felt like we were talking to a brother here. Honest to God.
Yeah, no, he understands. That's what it comes down to. You know, there's so many people out there that are trying to help other people, but their level of understanding hasn't really hit the, you know, that depth of really getting how all this stuff connects. And I guess there's a big difference between a coach that can relay information and a coach that actually understands, you know, what the information is and can actually translate that into the individual so it truly customizes around the individual. Because I think that's one of the biggest issues we have in the coaching world is that people don't really understand deeply enough. So all they're doing is they're just kind of like, they're just taking kind of template information and passing it around.
What I love about D'Angelo is that he's lived the experiences. Like, dude, he's 100 pounds, homeless. So you got a guy walking up. And what I love about him, too, is you guys look the same person in many ways. Like your similarities are not lost upon at all, frankly.
100%. Because I mean, think about it. When we get someone that comes on here that really gets how this shit works on a deeper level, it's the same. It's, you know, it's the same story, so to speak. It might be, it's different, you know, vocabulary explaining how it all fits together, but it's the same fucking story.
Well, you know what's funny about it too? Not funny. I
shouldn't say story, but you know, it's the same, you know, the equations are so similar.
Well, and the themes are the same.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Find faith, whether faith's in God or faith's in yourself, but find a level of spirituality, get to sleep, eat good foods, you know, and again, I'm not trying to be all, you know, fooey, but it's actually truth.
Dude. Yeah. No, when I was hearing him talk about how he finishes his morning with the time on his hands was on his knees.
Yes.
You know, that's something that I probably need to be a little bit more aware of because I have the similar belief.
Yes.
But I don't highlight it enough. I need to make that a little bit more of there need to be a space, a place in my morning where I can do that. Because ultimately, when it comes down to it, you know, the way I feel about it is that our plans are kind of laid out for us, you know, and we can maximize our plans, but we can't do it alone. No.
What I also took from Robby today, we didn't talk much about it, Johnny, was, and again, this is a fluffy word, but there is so much value in it, and Roofy talks about it all the time. Could you not sense Robby's kindness? Like, dude, the kindness that was just like the way he spoke, the way he presented himself, like very, very, very approachable in a kind way. And again, I bring that up because it's an attribute that I don't think enough of society has these days.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. You can hear the sincerity in his voice about what he does and what he's living his purpose.
Yes.
When you have someone that's in that space, it's a different vibe. It's a different tone of voice. It's a different aura coming out of that person.
Well, and I wanted to ask about the homeless thing because I sensed he came from a good place with mom and dad, and I'm just wondering what happens there. And then when he reveals that it's a pride thing, again, Johnny, a lot of men, pride, right? We don't want to ask for help. We don't want to.
When sometimes parents are like, you know, there's nothing. If he had said to me, you know, my parents wanted me to learn some lessons, I would have understood that too.
Ah, you know? Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Because I mean, because I kind of like my when I was going through that struggle, I mean, I was basically kicked out by my blood dad. Right.
I know you told me that. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about when I was young. Right.
Yes.
And so then at that point, I'm struggling. Of course, I went to my mom for a little bit of help. She gave me a little bit of help, but then I kind of slid into where Robby was like, okay, I can't just sit here and stay on the tit. You know, I've got to fucking take some lumps. I learned through these hard experiences. So a lot of times it can be a combo. And I wouldn't have been
love, Johnny. Was that tough love?
Yeah, I mean, my old man was tough love. I don't know. I think with him, no. Looking back, I don't know that he really understood how to give unconditional love because he bumped me. He bumped me out of his situation because I wasn't doing what he wanted me to do. You know, so.
Yes.
But either way, I mean, I have a combination of that with my parenting. Like, look, I told my girls, look, what you need to understand, you're gonna fall, and I'm only gonna break your fall if that fall is so big it's gonna change the trajectory of your life. Other than that, I'm gonna let you take your lumps because you need those lumps. And so, I would imagine that, Robby's parents, like I said, basic of them being coaches. I could have seen a combination of any of this coming forward. They probably wanted him to learn some lessons, but at the same time, if he really needed him, they would have made sure that, all of their hard work and who his potential was going to be was not going to be stripped by, becoming a drug addict on the street.
I wonder, I wonder sometimes if we don't talk enough about tough love, and I don't mean tough love in the physical beating part. I mean the tough love in the mental, emotional, helping somebody. And again, I know, we kind of had a back and forth last week around toughening up as a man. I mean toughening love and helping one sharpen the emotional edges, like sharpening your emotional intelligence using some tough love. You follow what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, and there's so many levels of this.
Yeah,
so many levels of tough. I'll give a real world example. So my middle daughter, became very accustomed to the good life, obviously, because when she was living at home, then when she got in the real world, she was still like her spending habits were still as if she, was living at home. And she ran up a credit card, and I told her, kiddo, don't do that. You're going to get maxed on this credit card, and it's going to take you years to pay that off. And of course, she didn't listen. So she said, hey, Dad, my credit card's maxed. What am I going to do? I said, this is that time right now, kiddo. If I bail you out, you're not going to learn. You're going to have to struggle through this, and it's going to take you years. And she's still working on it.
Good
and
for
now,
you.
And now she's like, you know what? She's got like another $1,500 to pay this off. And keep in mind, it was only like $6,000. It wasn't that much.
Well,
but $6,000 when you don't have any extra money to get to other than pay those minimums, that's a shitload of money. And so she's getting to that point now where she's almost got it licked, and this will never, ever happen to her again.
Yes.
If I bailed her out, it would have happened again, and it would fucking happen again. And this habit, this behavior pattern would have fucking plagued her life.
Well, and that's where, and I've talked with you privately, even publicly with you, just, with my kids, all three of them. I'm not the handout police here. So could I do handouts? Sure. But I'm not about that, man. No, you got to earn your wealth. You got to earn your income. And, mom and dad, are here to support and encourage, and to teach. But this is not handout central over here. That's not what this is all about here. And to me, that's a form of tough love as well, which is
100%. And on that level, I was very clear. I was like, look, I told my kids, I'm going to get you used to Gucci when you're in the house. I want those tastes. I want you to have those tastes. I want you to experience that. Soon you go out in the world, you got to start kicking ass to reclaim that. You know what it tastes like. But unfortunately, this one went out and didn't quite register. There had to be a little bit of a lull before she got back there. And
my little Brookie, man, the true entrepreneur dude. Like she has some nice tastes as well. We went out for her birthday a couple weeks ago for her 9th birthday, and she crushed steak and lobster. She had the most expensive meal at the whole dinner table, just crushing it, right? So, but she's also the true entrepreneur. She's making stickers to get her kids to sell stuff at class, and teachers saying, Brooks, you can't sell that here in school. She's like, okay, I can go sell it on the sidewalk though, can't I? Because she's off school property, right? So
I just need to be 6 feet off the property, and I can do what I want.
So she's being taught very clearly that she's got to go make her own cash. And then B Drive, Bernard, I love your comment. And then Johnny, I got one last segment for you before I'm going to walk you out of here. Bernard says, true entrepreneurs know how to delegate the most people. Yes. Good on you, Keith. You've gotten John to do the lifting, and I can be his assistant now. Yes, that is a true story, Bernard. Jimmy, have you been told that fasting is the secret to longevity? Turns out you might just need to break a sweat instead. We're going to do a quick segment before we walk Johnny out of here. He's going to love this one. Let's get into some research that shows that high-intensity exercise may activate your body's cellular cleanup like autophagy, just as effective as fasting. Jimmy, let's run it.
For years, You've been told fasting is the key to longevity. Skip meals, trigger autophagy, and live longer. But groundbreaking research reveals a better truth. Just 1 hour of Zone 2 training stimulates as much autophagy as 3 days without food, revitalizing your muscles, heart, liver, and fat tissues. Unlike fasting, exercise provides instant benefits without brain fog, energy crashes, or social limitations. Your body and your life deserve it.
Sarah Peaches, Johnny, I knew you'd love this one, and here's why I knew you'd love it, because I know you're a fan of fasting when it comes to helping with discipline, as am I. So we have our points for fasting, but I also know you're a fan of vigorous exercise, and recent studies are showing that vigorous exercise, especially HIIT or even Zone 2 training, can produce as equally potent autophagy response. The scientific evidence now shows that autophagy triggered via exercise affects multiple organs, heart, muscles, liver, even fat tissue, offering a full body rejuvenation effect. Study last year, Johnny, said that an aerobic Zone 2 training may reduce as much autophagy as 3 days of fasting, especially when glycogen stores are depleted. More of the story, guys. Yeah, fasting offers an immediate spike, but high intensity exercise or even long Zone 2 training can sustain autophagy longer, but in harder to maintain and can impair high intensity performance. So guys, get after it. Bottom line is get after it.
Well, on that level, if autophagy is what you're after, you don't have to fast to get it. You just need to kind of keep your body in a semi deficit state. And it doesn't take much. Now, granted, living in a deficit is no fun.
No,
but neither is fasting.
Yes,
but there's two different ways you can go about it. So you just got to keep your body in that position where, chewing on some of its own tissue is welcome, and it's always going to go to that tissue that needs to be. It's going to go to the house cleaning first.
Yes. What I liked about the topic, Johnny, was because again, when we talk intermittent fasting or we talk about fasting, I know you come from the same point I come at it, which is about teaching discipline. To me, that's why I get into it first. And what I thought about was nice about this is that this is just suggesting to folks that get up and get moving. Get up and get moving. Right? The simple things, getting up and getting moving. All right. Listen, bottom of the hour, my brother. I think we got to get you out of here. What do you got going on today?
So, you see that?
I
was playing with some nicotine this morning.
I saw that.
Yeah. I kept my cigar in my mouth a little longer too, because that's good. That's nicotine also. So basically this morning I got some client calls, got, of course, my team meeting, and then packing up. We're going to be heading to Vegas here kind of midday. Nice. I got my first podcast is at 4:30, and we're going to spend tonight, tomorrow, and so there's actually going to be, our trip got extended, so we're going to be, so Thursday night, Friday morning. No shit, I'm going to be in Vegas for the rest of the week of shows.
Oh, fun! Good for you.
Yeah, so we're at a different hotel. That last one, the Wi-Fi was fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one is better. But we got our two big dogs with us, which is, that limits our choices of hotels. So, but anyway, worst comes to worst, we pull me in on the telephone.
Absolutely, 100%. And hey, if you can, just to throw a thought in your head here, throw a thought in your brain, throw a cord in your bag. If you can find a plug-in in the hotel, that will help you with a plugged connection instead of a Wi-Fi connection.
Like a phone cord.
No, like an internet cord, right? So throw one in your bag. If you have an internet cord kicking around the house, or throw it into your bag, you have it there. When you get to your location, if they have the plug-in, it gives you a better option than Wi-Fi. Another option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess the question is, do I have one of those cords? That's like looking for a fucking an 8-track tape or something, And
hold the fuck on, man. I know you got 8 tracks. I know you got Veda, VHS. I know you got the fax machine, the pigeon. I know everything behind you in that room looks like.
I got my fax, but I let go of everything else, because with music, I like the newer technology. I like it because it gets so crystal clear. I love that.
I read something on the weekend. President Trump does not email. He uses fax. He writes notes. He emails his notes. He has this. So if he's emailing you something, and you know what he is? He's like, I've had too many friends get fucked by email. So he's like, Giuliani, Clinton, like all these, not friends, but all these people. He's like, no, they're all fucked because they make an email. He's like, I'm not having any emails. He's like, so everything I do, he's all about having a phone call, all about a handshake, and he's all about kind of that throwback, right? And there's something to be said for that, isn't there, at the end of the day?
You know, I was watching this thing on him, you know, because obviously I wanted to know more about the guys coming back in office. I'm like, okay, I just need to understand a little more. So I can't remember this documentary, but it wasn't put on by his people, right? So I was trying to get like a really, you know, anyway, it was back I think it was before email. And so he was trying to get himself, and of course, this is just what this documentary was made to be. So I'm not, this is not guaranteed fact.
No, I understand what you mean. Yes.
It was basically, it was a recording of a phone call between somebody and the guy at Forbes, which was the one who made the Forbes the richest people.
Yes.
So and it was because in those days this guy got on the phone to basically fact check of the person's financial, you know, level.
Yes.
Well, he's talking to somebody that's supposedly, who knows, it is clearly Donald Trump, and he's basically putting himself over as this, you know, that he should be whatever number on this list.
Yes.
It goes, Joe, back in those days when it was telephone only and fax, it was a little bit more of the Wild West.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, listen, brother, you have yourself a great day today. We got Carter's grad today. So Friday was the ceremony. Friday was the dinner. Today's the big grad today. So myself and Lauren are heading down to the high school today and sitting back for probably a couple hours and watching the cap and gowns. And the good news is that he's a B, so he'll be kind of early in the list. The bad news is, Johnny, I got to get through C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and a B all the way to Z. So, but that's going to be our day. Right. So, but I'm looking forward to that. So it's a big day for our family here as Carter's graduating and officially done school, man. And you know what that's all about. So,
give him a hug for me. Tell him congratulations.
I will for sure, brother. I appreciate you. Lots of love. Great show today. What a great conversation with D'Angelo. You enjoy your day. Drive safe with Terry and the dogs, and we'll talk to you on the way. Okay, pal?
We'll either see you or hear you tomorrow.
And I can assure you that your assistants will get D'Angelo your number today. Okay,
my man.
Thanks for delegating.
Have a good look, brother.
You too. All right, let's get Johnny out of here. Let's get Johnny out of here, Jimmy, and we're going to revisit our comments. Jimmy, I'm going to try something here. Watch this, Jimmy. I'm going to do this. Oh, there we go, behind the scenes. Yes. Let's have a look at the comments, Jimmy. Let's go over to the horizontal here. So, how do I do that, though? Let's see here. Let's see, we got some comments coming in from the community. Lady Drew's going in with, back in the 80s, there was a series called Dr. Tough Love. Yeah. And then Lady Drew's, I introduced Dr. Tough Love to everyone I could. Bernard comes in, Jimmy, with, I was born into tough love. Haven't lived at home since I was 12. Lifted, did sports, and 3.76 GPA. Good for you. It's 17 when I graduated. Bernard, I don't know what my GPA was. I don't think it was 3.76, though. Good. Dude, you're fucking smart, man. I was far from perfect, but I worked my butt off. That's what you did. And then we got Drew coming in with protege children. And Drew is a 62-year-old young, still singing away. And Bernard coming in, I was advanced, but my mother wouldn't let them move me ahead since I was already a year younger than most classmates. And what else we got coming back here with Bernard offering some be safe. I agree, our education system is not designed for growth, it's for making slaves. Oh, you know, Bernard, it's interesting, eh? We should probably think about having a conversation about the education system on this show one of these days. I'm curious about where education is headed. I'm curious about purpose of education, where it's headed, why we're using it, what it's all about, what it's teaching us. And I don't want you guys to mishear me that we don't need education. It's just that it's changing. And it makes me curious. So maybe we can have that conversation. All right. Let's go back to this camera over here. And Jimmy, let's do our, once I start figuring out why all these good sounds in my head here, we're going to do the community corner. Fit presenter. I never hear people talking about intense exercise while fasting. I do every now and then, actually. Yeah, true story. I do like the fasting, though. I like how I feel when I fast. Amazing guests from Kindness Rising. Roofy, I hear you, brother. I see your comment. I agree. Roundtable appearance for D'Angelo seems to make a lot of sense. Okay, well listen, let's do this. Let's get into the community corner. It's time for Community Corner, where we connect LinkedIn and Substack in the lab with Keith and friends. Let's be honest, we say community a lot here, but when's the last time you actually felt it? Well, let's get into it. Is it just another buzzword, or are we finally getting into the good stuff? Well, fellas, buckle up, because the stories today will challenge everything you think you know about connection, motivation, and what it means to start your day right. Nicole Bernard's coming up, business and branding, in about 10 minutes. Guys, loneliness is a men's problem. Let's stop pretending it isn't. Why are so many men feeling isolated in a world where we are more connected than ever? Wow, Sam Joseph's guide pulls no punches. Loneliness isn't about feeling and having no friends. It's about having no real connections. He says 1 in 4 men don't have a single close friend. Think about that, guys. There's 4 guys on the show today, which means one of us might not have a close friend. Most men don't talk about it. We're told to man up. We're told to deal with it. That's wrong. If you're only surrounded by people not actually connected, that's a recipe for burnout, no matter how strong your morning mindset is. So guys, I invite you. True connection, it starts with reconnecting to yourself. And he lays out steps so simple, even a guy on his 3rd cup, he can do them. Spend time without distractions. Choose quality over quantity. And yes, risk a little vulnerability. What's the bottom line according to Sam? If you want real accountability, stop filling your calendar and start building real friendships. Gents, when was the last time you let yourself be seen? Guys who are tuning in right now. You got friends? You got real connections? Or are they all fake? Ask yourself. All right. The walk and talk revolution. Men's health on the menu. What if the solution to stress, stagnation, and that gnawing, stuck feeling is as easy as taking a walk? Well, Khan from Positive Masculinity shares how simply joining a men's walking group after moving to a new city changed everything. No therapy jargon, no motivational fluff, just men putting one foot in front of the other and talking about it. The magic, he says, isn't just in the fresh air, it's in the real conversations about wins, losses, and everything in between. The result? Strangers become friends. Look what's happening in the community. Look at Bernard. Look at Lady Drew. We're all just hanging out together. Good times here. Maddie's here. Jay's here. Fit Presenter's here. These are habits that bring us all together that we all look forward to every single week. So, do you have a friend you work out with? Do you have a friend you join a community with? And how has all that changed your perception? Think about it. Staying on LinkedIn. The relationship truth bomb that your startup isn't what you think. Oh, yeah. Wow. We talk about traction, funding, and shiny new tech all the time. But Peter Sorgenfring calls us out. What really makes or breaks your career or startup, it's called relationships. Period. He says the way you show up with your co-founder, your team, or even your family is the way you lead. You hear it all the time. The way you show up for one thing is the way you show up for everything. So what he says is his checklist reads like a morning accountability audit. Do you listen? Do you show vulnerability? Do you put your people ahead of your pitch? Peter's point is clear. Mastering business isn't just about hitting goals. It's about showing up as the kind of man others trust, respect, and want to follow. So guys, I ask you this. How are you showing up in your relationships? And would you want to work for yourself? That's the question, isn't it? If you don't want to work for yourself, why would somebody want to work for you? Have you wondered that? Yeah. All right, keeping it on LinkedIn. The best man goes missing. And why sometimes you got to choose you. Simon Jeffries missed his best friend's wedding on purpose. Why? Well, he was training for Special Forces selection. This isn't just about bad friends, it's about the hard choices we make in pursuit of audacious goals. Simon's message was clear. You can't have it all, fellas. You gotta say a lot of no's to get to a yes. Sometimes chasing your dreams means letting go of something big, and yeah, Not everyone's going to understand. Damn it, most aren't going to understand. But that's what high performers face every single day. The tough calls that build resilience, discipline, and the mindset to get up and grind again tomorrow. So gentlemen, if you're battling with guilt for picking your own path, I invite you to think about this. Own your decision, learn from it, and surround yourself with men who get it. Like myself, Robby D'Angelo, Jon Andersen, AJ Zeglin, C. Marty Fit, producer Jimmy. Yeah, we get it. We'd love to help you get it. So I ask you this. Would you have the guts to skip a big moment if it meant betting on yourself? That's it. Would you? Would you have the guts? Would you have the guts to skip that big moment? Maybe it's a wedding. Maybe it's your child's birthday. But because you had bet on yourself. Hey, that's it for the Community Corner. We covered loneliness, walking your way to brotherhood, and why relationships, not just results, matter most. So, nation, I ask you, I invite you to consider, what's the one connection you need to make this week to take your mornings and your momentum to the next level? If you want your story featured on the show, I invite you to follow us on Substack, connect with us on LinkedIn, and tag us in your next post. And you can also call the Mornings in the Lab hotline. Yes, 431-300-3005. There's what it is, 431-300-3005. What's that? Well, you can leave a voicemail, you can leave a text, you can actually phone the show. Community Corner, lines are open. Yesterday, our buddy from Peru, Mike McQuillan, I see your comments there, brother. Mike McQuillan joined us. Peaches, you want to get into the lab and have a conversation? Why don't you give us a call, 431-300-3005, or send us a text. Yeah. Or leave a voicemail. Either or. Love to hear from you. Okay, let's keep it going here. Let's get to the Creator Spotlight, Jimmy. But Jimmy, I can't read it. So maybe we want to go over there to the Creator Spotlight and have a look at who we're going to start with the LinkedIn side of things, because that would be really helpful for me so Uncle Keith can get into it with you guys. Most founders and experts, they waste hours creating content, burning out before they ever see real momentum. But not Uncle Keith over here. That's only the fit presenter. Nah, that's just fit over there. Hey, I think Mike's got a big event today, Jimmy. Was it a big event today or is it later on? I don't. Mike, I know you got a big event, brother. I want to help you promote that thing. The grind to stay visible online feels impossible, and usually it is. But this creator we're going to celebrate today flipped the script. Hey, did I tell you guys Nicole Bernard's coming up in a few months? Nicole Bernard's joining us for business and branding in a couple. Hey, I'm just the host with the most. I think my ADHD's on fire today. But hey, this creator flipped the script, building a system so efficient, it takes a single filming session and turns it into over 1,000 pieces of content, all scheduled, all distributed for the world to see. Yeah. He's not just making noise online. He's giving leaders back their time and putting true visibility on autopilot. The guy started at Microsoft, managing multi-million-dollar campaigns and breaking revenue records. Founded a digital agency that's powered growth for top companies. And he doesn't just build business. He sits on the board of a nonprofit teaching mindfulness to thousands of kids. Nation, I'm going to take a second to invite you to meet Bernard Abiola, creator of the Infinite Feed Method, a visibility infrastructure for founders who want their own space without burning out. Bernard's raising the bar for digital marketing, community leadership, and what it really means to work smarter. So Bernard, here's how it works, my brother. Would love to have you on the show. Would love to invite you to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Come hang out with me so we can celebrate you, get to know you a little bit. And then I want to pass you the light, the Mornings in the Lab Spotlight, the Creator Spotlight, so we can shine it on somebody in your orbit and bring forward the great gratitude feelings of the Creator Spotlight happening here on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Bernard's coming with some comments, and so is Lady Drew. Wow. Lady Drew coming in here. All of you give me another reason for waking up in the mornings and joining the show. Yes, I love you guys hanging out with us every single day. The community we are building here is exceptional. Speaking of the community, I invite you guys to join the Mornings in the Lab community. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. You just got to show up and hang out with us. But if you want to get some of the benefits, you can hang out just like Adam Holroyd did and Lady Drew did. Pony up to the counter. You can pony up to the counter. Yeah, open up the wallet. $3 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month. Get some extra benefits along the way. Bringing it at you guys. All right, Jimmy, let's get to the next one here. We're going to do this. If you've ever wondered how to stand out in a crowded industry or felt like your best ideas just aren't valued, there's a better way. The creator we're going to celebrate right now went from chasing scores in the newsroom to rewriting the playbook for storytelling and tech, guiding marketing teams at companies that exploded from early stage startups to global powerhouses. This guy's helped launch one SaaS company past $1 billion. Made radical transparency the new norm and built digital communities where creative people actually feel seen. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce you to Keevan Lee, marketer, brand strategist, teacher, and champion for creative professionals everywhere. If you want to build real community and keep your creative edge sharp, go subscribe to Keevan's Around the Bonfire Substack and follow what he's doing. And Keevan, love to have you on the show. Yes, we'd love to have you here on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends so I can give you the creator spotlight. That's a great lid, dude. Love your hair. Dude, you got a great lid. Jimmy, the guy's got a great lid. Keevan, I want to have you on the show so we can talk about your lid. You got a great set of hair, man. I love that. Good style. Jimmy, got to get him on the show just for that reason. I helped the creator spotlight. Brothers, love to have you on the show so we can celebrate you on the next creator spotlight on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, guys, you can join the conversation 431-300-3005. That's how you can join the Mornings in the Lab conversation. Coming up this Friday, Free for All Friday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, big show in the lab as well. But up next, we have our friend, the OG herself. It's about time. It is time. Let's bring her in, Jimmy. Nicole Bernard, joining us all the way from Oregon. What's going on, Nicole?
Good morning. How are you?
Hold on. I got my audio out of whack here. How are you today?
Hear me?
I can hear. Yeah, it was on my end. I had my audio a little bit too loud in my ears and I couldn't hear you. How are you today?
I'm good. It's Tuesday, right? I don't know. Now that summer, all the days kind of blend together. So
it's Tuesday. Yeah, the kids are rock and rolling. The kids are getting back to school. What's going on, Jamie Newstead? Hey, Australia. Good to have you on the show here this morning. Nicole, we got a few things to talk about here this morning on the business and branding segment. Let's get into them. The end of typing. Google search launched something crazy last week. What did they launch?
yeah, Google Search Live, super crazy. So like now it has literally its own voice. You can talk to it, which is really cool. Yeah, and then it also just kind of gives you links along the way as well. And then it kind of learns before you even tell it what to do next. You know, it's like a upgraded model of Gemini, and I don't know, it's totally changing the way we're going to be searching, which I thought couldn't happen again, but you know, whatever.
What I'm enjoying is that this is not actually just another tech update. And I think this is where it's going to freak me a strong word. It's going to create curiosity with folks, is that this is actually a fundamental shift in customer behavior. Because when people speak naturally instead of typing keywords, they're going to reveal true intentions, pain points, and needs. And I know myself now, as I'm using my tools with voice search, the way that I'm searching and interacting is very much changing than the way that I typed and searched in the past. And I think this to me is a massive change for folks. Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the fact that you can have a speaking conversation with Google now, I mean, I don't even do that with my chat GPT, but I don't know. I feel like they're getting out ahead of it.
And what I like about this too is that the system remembers previous dialogue, creating contextually relevant responses, and users can also multitask while conversing. So you're literally sitting with a voice search agent in your pocket as you're searching Google. Yeah.
Exactly. How many elements going on in the background as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Nicole, how are you talking to marketers?
Is that me or you? Is that
we have a delay going on here. Let me ask Jimmy. Jimmy, where's the delay coming in there? Jim? Oh, we got a delay with Nicole.
it's me?
Yeah, we got a slight delay with you in there, Nicole. Yeah, Jimmy, let's bring Nicole off the stage here for a quick second. Jimmy, we'll bring Nicole off the stage here. We'll keep the show rock and rolling here. Yeah, we got a delay with Nicole there. So we're talking Google search here, guys. So on the business and branding segment here today, guys, massive changes happening on the Google side of things. So the days of old, which is type in search and get after it, is changing rapidly. They launched a new search live feature, launched as part of the new AI mode. So folks are able to get in and actually speak to Gemini and get results done. Guys, we got some pretty exciting things happening on the business side of this show to help you guys get more context around what's happening in the world of marketing. We're going to lean more into conversation around business and branding, working on some things around this. But the world of search is changing quickly, and Google is leading that. So I would invite you guys to check out all the new products from Google, Gemini, and literally don't walk away from it. I can't encourage you enough to walk towards it. All right, next up here, we got from in the segment here today is recent report detailing that Trump is considering delaying again the enforcement of TikTok by another 90 days, marking the third such postponement since the law was enacted. Here's the thing, guys. I'm just going to offer up old Uncle Keith's opinion on this thing here. That ain't going anywhere. TikTok ain't going anywhere. TikTok is a purely geopolitical play. Period. Point blank, period. Ain't going away. So as a marketer, I would not be too concerned about leaving the world of TikTok. If you're in TikTok, stay there. Don't go anywhere. Lean into those that are afraid of it leaving. It's not going anywhere. So while we're playing the game of politics, adding 90 days, TikTok is part of the is part of the infrastructure of the world, and it's not going to be going away anytime soon. So I would encourage you guys to keep leaning into the platform and looking into the things that they keep building. ByteDance just launched a video AI product called SeekDance, I believe it is. It's exceptionally, it's incredible as well. So, guys, I would not be too worried about TikTok going away. It says it's going to be postponed, but it is not going anywhere. So don't be afraid to stick around with the TikTok world. All right, Jimmy, let's bring Nicole back in. Let's try it out here again here. We got Nicole joining us for the show here. A little bit of delays on the tech, but I think we'll be just fine. Nicole, we talked about, you may have heard my opinion on TikTok or not, but TikTok is not going anywhere. How about Threads? So Threads, Meta's microblogging platform, is currently testing a new feature designed to help users avoid unwanted spoilers in their feeds. So this feature allows you guys to blur or hide parts of their posts that contain spoilers from movies, TV shows, or other media, giving viewers a choice to reveal content by tapping. So how does it work? Well, when you're in the Threads feed, if I post some content up there that might have a spoiler in it, I can mark it as spoiler alert. So if you're watching a show that I'm watching, you will be notified that it's a spoiler, so that it's not going to wreck it. This action obscures the content behind a gray block on desktop or a dynamic animated blur on mobile. And then to view it, you tap it and it gets revealed. The feature, inspired by similar spoiler hiding tools found on platforms like Reddit, Discord, and Mastodon, which have long allowed users to mark and conceal spoilers for discussion. And guys, this is very much all right. And then the last topics we had here was, and this one here, I think I'm actually going to leave on the table, Jimmy, for Nicole for when we get back into the show here together, which is 8 ways to use AI in digital marketing. I want to have this conversation with Nicole at a later date, because this one's a good one. I don't want this to be a one-way. AI is changing digital marketing rapidly right now. How do I know? I'm right in the middle of it. And I want to talk at a future show with you guys, with Nicole and others, but how it's changing so rapidly and how we can help you guys embrace some of these new digital marketing tools. So we're going to wrap it up, the business and branding segment. We got Jerry Doc here. over on Twitch, joining us on the horizontal. Hey, dude, join the streaming community. I'd love to share tips. Add me up on Discord. I see you there. And Jerry, why don't you subscribe to our channel? And we're a morning show for men, getting after every single day here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. So, Jimmy, if we want, we can try Nicole up for one last shot here, see if we can get to 8 ways to use AI in digital marketing before we wrap it up with Nicole. And if not, we'll bring her back for another show coming up in the near future. Jimmy, should we try it out? Let's try it out here, Nicole. Let's try one more time here with you, kiddo. Let's see if we have any echo, any delay there. Nicole Bernard? Jim, so we're gonna leave it there, pal. We will okay, awesome. So here's what we're gonna do, Jim. We're gonna work towards wrapping it up here, and I'm gonna make a sound effect that goes like this. Yeah, just like that. So hey, guys, what a big show here today. Big show. What did we talk about today? We talked about the enhanced games to kick off hour one. It's about time. It's about time that we're leaning into things that the world and the public's already a part of. So we got the enhanced games coming. We had Robby D'Angelo from 305 to losing 100 pounds, driving a coaching business. We usually have our guests stick around for 13 to 30 minutes. Wow. D'Angelo was here for the whole hour. True story. We then had Nicole Bernard come in for business and branding on the second hour. And we talked about don't skipping meals, skip those excuses. Exercise beats fasting for longevity. And that was it. What a great show here today. Everybody who showed up in the community today. Peaches, Jay, B-Drive, Fit Presenter, Lady Drew, Jimmy, I saw Nicole just left. On behalf of everybody, I appreciate all you guys. What are we going to say? We're going to get out of here. My bladder's calling. We're going to get back at it tomorrow, Wednesday. Jimmy, who's on the show tomorrow, brother? Hey, guys, listen. I invite you guys to leave a comment in the community. Invite you to join the community, 431-300-3005. Leave a phone call, drop a text, leave a voicemail. Just call me. Say what's shaking. So we're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Mornings Alive with Keith and friends. Tomorrow, we got Chad coming tomorrow. Chad tried to get on the show last week. Jimmy, I wonder if Chad read the IKEA instructions for tomorrow's show. We're going to find out. We're going to find out tomorrow. Chad Rawlings joining us, 8:15 Eastern time. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Let's get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Lady Drew, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
You think 9 more minutes in bed is going to give you the energy you need? Grow up. If you want comfort, go hug a teddy bear. If you want results, be accountable. Get your ass out of bed, hydrate, get moving, and get some sun on your face.